Very good day and welcome to all the viewers joining us for this preview, which will be pre-recorded on Thursday morning, early hours, which will be for racing on Friday. Friday, racing takes place at Fairview. We are racing on the turf. The first race is due off at 12:30. Joining us on the line, our resident expert in Port Elizabeth, KwaZulu-Natal, is Grant Paddock. Firstly, Grant, how are you doing? And then tell us the weather patterns.
All good this side. Thank you, Sheldon. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, punters. Weather is pretty good at the moment. We've had a very good week of weather. There is a little bit of a rain expected tomorrow morning. Hopefully it won't affect anything. So we should finally be back on the grass tomorrow.
Let's kick off straight into the action. Race number 1, where the new horse in your area, number 3, Errol's Legacy, is priced up at around 18-10. And let's just have a look at Errol's Legacy, 18-10. Number 9, Tibetan Temptress, is 22-10. That is the first timer. And then number 1, Anam Kara, is at around 6 and 7-1. Grant, number 3, Errol's Legacy, this daughter of Louis the King, I know quite well from KwaZulu-Natal, is run behind the likes of Main Defender and Oriental Bouquet, who runs in one of the races on Saturday in KwaZulu-Natal. And then the penultimate run ran behind Winter Cloud, which was in that mini feature. So do you know too much about Errol's Legacy? Is there any word on the ground, any good work up there so far?
Sheldon, no word on the ground with regards to Errol's Legacy, but I can tell you there's a hell of a lot of talk about the 9 Tibetan Temptress. I believe it's a very, very decent filly, doing exceptionally good work, and I believe it's also the right horse in the race. It seems a very, very shallow race. That's why Errol's Legacy should be, without a doubt, in the top 2. I think those 2 horses will get you through to the bipot. I don't see any other spooks. The improver in the race is probably Quirk of Fate. But looking at the jockey engagements, it looks like Errol's Legacy is the right one from that yard. And then maybe back end of Quartet's Winning Grace. But there's a big talk for Tibetan Temptress, and I think she will be a lot shorter race time.
Well, there you go. The word on the ground is this individual can certainly gallop, and when you put that combination together, Grant Paddock will probably be on the mark, and you'll find the money will probably start to flow through onto Friday. Let's move on to race number 2 over the 1,200-meter trip, where number 1, Adaya, is trading at around 13-10, ran third first time out in the feature, and then third behind Explicit Content last time out. This daughter of Vercingetorix, she seems to set the trend in race number 2.
Sheldon, boat race. It's a colts race, this, between the 1 and the 2. Adaya was quite disappointing last time out, but it was his first run on the poly, and he got done at the jump, so person could put a line through that run. He can only improve from this. But I know this horse Arturo is very well fancied by the stable, and they liked him first time out, and Greenness caught him out, and Questa was on his bicycle, and by the time he got into a racing position, Questa already had 3 or 4 lengths on him. He'll definitely come on from that, and he'll give Adaya a very good run for his money. The bipot and place accumulators, you can bank it either or. They'll run 1-2 to fill up the trifectas. A horse like See the Badge is an improver, there's no doubt. But quite a simple race for the punters. It's 1 and 2. Banker one of them in the bipot and place accumulator. I've gone for Arturo. I think he's got a bit more scope than Adaya. So it's for me, Arturo to beat Adaya.
So there we have it, the Colts and the Geldings. They'll be taking their chances in race number 2 over 1,200 meters. And you heard from Grant numbers 1 and 2. It looks to be a boat race. That'll take us on to race number 3, which will once again be over the distance of 1,200 meters, due off at 13:45. So that's the time you need to get your bets on. Having a look at the betting, number 1, Woodland Ridge. Now let's just have a look. Has had a few runs there locally. 49 days off the track. Is trading as the odds-on favorite at 7-10. And just looking at the profile, seems to have the winning form in this type of field.
Yeah, very, very, very shallow field, this Sheldon. If he doesn't win this race, I don't think he'll ever win a race. News from the yard is he is doing well at home. Would prefer a 1,400, but with the depth of the field, the 1,200 should be all right for him. And I've taken him to win in a very weak race from numbers 4, 7, and 3, Western Jack, Fly Better, and a horse called This Time Around. But as I said, if Woodland Ridge doesn't win this race, I doubt that he'll ever win a race. So, Woodland Ridge, a banker in all bets, and hopefully for the Mitchell Yard, this one can come home.
There we go. Race number 3, number 1, Woodland Ridge. Won't find an easier opportunity to break out of the maiden jail, and looks to be a confident selection on all fronts. So a banker in all the bets, and probably a horse that you'll throw into your all-to-comes. That'll be number 1, Woodland Ridge from the Mitchley stable. Right, let's move along to race number 4, where the betting has number 8, the Lady Love, at 22-10. Commerson's Passion, number 7, is trading at around 5-2. Number 1, Heart of Eternity, is at 3-1. Let's kick off with number 8, the Lady Love from the Alan Greef stable. This is a daughter of Lancaster Bomber. Now, what is the talk on the ground about this one? You said earlier on there's a lot of talk about the Greef runner early on. Have you heard anything about the Lady Love?
Once again, Sheldon, I think Alan has kept these youngsters over for the end of the season and given them the right time to mature. There is a lot of talk about this filly as well. And once again, a very, very shallow race. I'm not 100% sure about Commerson's Passion. I haven't heard anything. You'll probably know a bit better of her. She was from your neck of the woods. But there's a lot of talk for the Lady Love, and if she's any good, she should have no problems with disposing of this field. Commerson's Passion, with a bit of form, can run in the money. So too Mediterranean Goddess, and a horse like Heart of Eternity that was due to run last week, but they scratched when it moved to Polly. So she probably, they've got Louis on, so she's probably got a decent sized chance as well. But I'm going for the first timer, the Lady Love from Commerson's Passion, Mediterranean Goddess, and Heart of Eternity.
Well, about number 7, Commerson's Passion, what I can tell you is it has run 3 lengths behind Soldier's Eye. That form line has worked out very, very well. And then, of course, was beaten just under 6 lengths by Ripple Effect, who came out and won by about 6 lengths the other day. But when you look at the overall form, has been exposed having the 6 runs. So maybe number 8, the Lady Love, if not too green in the running, could certainly be the horse that number 7, Commerson's Passions, has most to fear from. As we head into the wood of race number 5, which will be over 1,000 meters. Now, looking at the size of the field in race number 5, I'm going to hand it straight over to you. Where would you be leaning for your top 2 or 3 selections? And what would be the play in race number 5 for you, Grant?
Yeah, Sheldon, very, very difficult fillies races. You know, we've got a 15-10 favourite in 3 Rocks, number 1, who's a 2-year-old, who's just won a maiden plate, and she's carrying 60 kilos, giving 4-time winners weight. It's not going to be easy for her. She's a very, very decent filly, I must add, but it's a very tough task. She has been thrown in a bit of the deep end here. So hopefully she can prove the handicapper wrong and be half decent. My value bet in this race actually comes in the form of Kilmoneyveg. I know this horse has been supposed to have run a couple of times, and they've moved her to Polly, and she's very decent on grass. When she won her maiden last time out, she won full of running, and she's learned about racing now, and I think she's a filly who will go on and win a couple of races. There's a filly like Esther, Quick Count, all horses that need to go in, Ride the Lightning. Very, very tricky race, and I see there's early money for a filly called Grew of Ice, who won a good race here last time out, albeit it was on Polly. Now she's back on grass. I'm not 100% sure if the forms are the same, but a very tricky race where I've gone 5, 9, 3 and 6, but you're going to have to add 1, 4 and 7 in your pick 6, and it's not a leg to go light. You have to load up here, Sheldon. But I do give Kilmoneyveg a very decent chance with Esther, Quick Count.
Now, when you look at Kilmoneyveg, that penultimate run went 3rd behind Yaya Maria. There's been a host of winners from that form line. So on that form line alone, that could stand in real good stead.
Yeah, 100%, Sheldon. She's been a very, very green filly in the running. She was very unlucky a couple of times, but her last time she really put it together and won a very, very decent race. You know, she won going away. The form line, I think she was beat. Woodland Ridge ran 2nd. He'll be running earlier, so that'll give you a bit of a line. But I don't think she's going to die a one-time winner. There's no doubt.
And then number 7, Ride the Lightning. You would have started to figure out a bit about this individual. The stable would have started to work out the pros and cons about number 7, Ride the Lightning. And just looking at the last 2 efforts there, very decent runs.
Yeah, they were decent runs, Sheldon. You know, it's back on the grass now, and I was actually surprised Muzi went for the filly that he won the maiden on Egreet. I thought maybe she'd be a better horse on the poly, and Ride the Lightning was probably the right horse, but he stuck with Egreet, and you know, she's done nothing wrong since she's got here. So you know, she can run a drum in a race like this. It all depends how she takes to the grass surface.
Excellent. Race number 6 now. This is quite an intriguing contest over 1,800 meters. I say an intriguing contest because number 1, Peace in Our World from the Gavin Smith stable, that achieved a rating of 100. Then we've got number 2, Cherry Anu, who's also a horse on the up. This is a 3-year-old Cape Town Noir taking on the elder opposition and has done absolutely nothing wrong. You got Blonde Act and horses like Medler's Tart. So this is a field where there's a little bit of quality about.
Yeah, decent fielder, Sheldon. At one stage, I thought it was an absolute boat race between Cherry Anu and Blondak, but I see they've been nibbling on this horse Peace in Our World all through since the betting has opened up, and he's back on grass. He's actually been quite disappointing since he's been here. I thought he would have won by now, but you know, Kamalo's gone for Cherry Anu, and I know he's putting up very decent work back home. That Derby form line has really stood up. The horse that ran second in the Derby came out and won very, very comfortably, Quasimodo, and I think he was only probably a length behind Quasimodo. So that Derby form line stood up. He's probably the horse to beat. I see there is money for him. Blonde Act absolutely loves the grass, loves a trip, loves the grass. He's going to be the biggest danger. So I've gone Cherry Anu to beat Blonde Act and Peace in Our World.
Well, there you heard from Grant Paddock, his top few selections, and at around 10 and 12 to 1, I think number 1, Peace in Our World from the Gavin Smith stable. Just having a look at the draw, is drawn 4 at this stage of the game. Even though 62.5 kilograms on the back, I just think 10 and 12 to 1 might be the value for an each-way bet, and also worth throwing into the exactas and trifectas. Let's move on to race number 7, where number 2, Teatro, is your 5-2 favourite. Number 9, Transact, is around 7-2. And just looking at your bets, I believe number 2, Teatro, this is high up there on one of your better bets on the card.
Yeah, without a doubt, Sheldon, he's definitely my best bet on the card. He's holding solid form to decent horses. I haven't got a concern with him going over from the poly to the grass. It was a very good run to Silver Falcon last time out in a feature, getting beaten the 1.5, and then ahead prior to that to Pure Maverick, who's a decent sort as well. So yeah, I'm very, very strong on Teatro, but I must tell you, there's been a lot of talk for this horse from the Sharon Costin yard, Transact, who's come to Port Elizabeth from Kenilworth, and you know that he's got decent Kenilworth form, having beaten Beerenberg, running 2 lengths to Swift Action 2 runs back, and those are very, very good runs. So he didn't perform in the wet last time out. He got beaten 13 lengths. So if we do have a little bit of rain tomorrow morning, it might well affect him. But there's a lot of solid talk for Transact. I'm still strong in the camp of Teatro. I think he's a banker in the place accumulator. And in the pick 6, you probably could just add in Transact and it'll get you through.
What do you make of number 8, Forest Spa, the son of Global View? He's a horse who's got the ability, but just seems to be a couple of lengths off them of late.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got punished as a 2-year-old. He got a ridiculous rating and he's coming down very slowly. He probably needs to get into the 76, 78 category to be at his best. You know, he will keep running 5 lengths, 4 lengths off them off his current rating. He needs to drop.
So there we heard from Grant Paddock. When he talks, we listen. He's out there in Fairview area. And number 9, Transact. The word is this is a horse that can certainly run. And if you look at the Cape Town form, number 9, Transact is definitely worth throwing into each and every bet. Moving on to the last hurdle of the day, which is race number 8, down the lane, 1,200 meters. And Grant, when it comes to race number 8, like our producer Lungi would usually say, this is the type of field where you would go the field. It's quite a wide open looking affair. If you had to structure a quartet in race number 8, would you have a horse that you could possibly rove or 1 or 2 horses worth including?
Sheldon. Yeah, obviously it's our normal race 8 to kill the punter race, or try and get out. But roving banker is definitely number 3, Averni Warrior. I do like him. He's been also scratched off the poly to run this week on the grass. I think he's a very, very big runner in the race, actually at a decent price. And my other horse would be Travel Master, drawn on the right side of the course if the rain does come tomorrow morning down the inside. Back on the grass where he prefers it. So those two will definitely be my 2 roving bankers, and I'll back that up with numbers 14, which is Picture the Moment, Jean-Paul, course and distance specialist, and what else is there? Windsock ran a good race, but he's backing up 11 days, so he's probably got to go in, as well as Burning Wings. But definitely Travel Master and Averni Warrior will be my 2 roving bankers in the quartet. But as I say, difficult race. Punters need to go as wide as possible in the pick 6, because there are a couple of races early on where you could have gone light, and you don't want to go in here with 3 or 4 horses only.
Just one horse that you have mentioned, which is number 6, Burning Wings. Now, I went for him in the penultimate run, and he was very, very unlucky. And then I followed up last time out. Last time out, a little bit disappointing, but I see they reported that he raced wide on that occasion. So if number 6, Burning Wings, at around 16 to 1, can bring his A game, he's certainly capable of winning this race?
Definitely, no doubt, Sheldon. He's been a little bit bad luck, this horse. He really has been. You know, he had the episode with Dennis Watts putting his hands down, then got caught wide, but nothing's really gone his way on the 2 runs around on the poly track. But his one grass run wasn't that flashy. He got beaten 13 lengths by Brendan James. So maybe we have to, but he's definitely a horse who's got the ability. There's no doubt he's got the ability. He's got to go into the quartets and to the pick 6s. I don't think he's a horse to have a bet on the head. But he's a horse that can run into the back end of quartets, no doubt.
Well, that's our 8-race program from Fairview. Now, Grant, you've put together some suggested bets for the punters. We're going to put it up on screen, and if you can go through those bets for us and guide the guys in the right direction, please.
All right, Sheldon. First of all, my best bet is race 7, number 2, Teatro. My value bet on the day is in race 5, number 3, Kilmoneyvale. My suggested bets, the win double, race 2, number 2, Arturo, onto race 7, number 2, Teatro, and I think that's a nice win double as well.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Grant. We really value your wisdom and all your hard work that you do behind the scenes, and we really appreciate it on behalf of us and all the punters out there. Thanks very much, and hopefully you have a top day's racing.
Thank you very much, Sheldon, and good luck to the punters.
Thanks very much to Grant Paddock joining us on the line for the race meeting, which takes place at Fairview. And you can always get some good value out there. Thanks to Grant Paddock, and to you, the punter, best of luck.